we're jumping right into it, ladies and gentlemen. So the actor strike and the writer strike are going strong in Hollywood right now. So what these studios and theaters have to do is find their own way around that by pumping out new content. Now, one of the things that I floated recently when Barbie came out and did as well as it did was that these theaters, these studios need to find a way to tap into the female audience because what they're doing isn't working. Just making movies about traditionally male characters that do traditionally male things and dropping a female in there isn't working. The women don't want to go watch that stuff. They want to watch masculine men do masculine guy stuff. So I said, what do you do to the contrary? How do we tap into the female market? And one of the things I said was like, just make a Taylor Swift movie. Starring Taylor Swift, about Taylor Swift. This isn't exactly that, but we're getting pretty close. What we're getting here is a movie about Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. So it's a studio made, it's like a produced movie about the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's still continuing this tour globally, but she finished North America recently. And starting October 13th, because 13 is her lucky number.
She loves
You can see this in theaters.
Her middle name might as well be Easter egg. Like, she loves Easter eggs.
It's corny.
She loves the lore. There's a $20 one there from Victor Von Derp.
Long ago, I proposed by unsealing a box of Cracker Jacks and placing the engagement ring inside the surprise packet, sealed it back, and when we sat down on a picnic, I tossed her the box and waited. Marriage is a mistake, by the way. Well, I mean, it was a successful proposal.
Had me in the first part.
Victor, did you actually get married, though?
Yes, he did.
That's okay.
It's I'm guessing that this proposal was a success. So, well, I don't know what to do with that information, but
Enjoy it.
yeah.
So what you're
Thanks
saying
for
is
sharing.
it worked.
Yes, it worked. And she's also selling adult tickets for $19.89 because of her album.
She loves
and the kids'
lore.
tickets for $13.13.
She just loves the lore, man.
You know,
Any fan base needs lore
Yeah, it's awesome
to get
for it.
into. I don't know what it is about the brain that, like, we just love that.
That's why the
shit
Lord of the Rings
so much.
fans are so upset with the way that Amazon has treated their the property that they love, right? People
Even for
want
a lot
the
of
lore.
reasons, they were mad at some of the changes Peter Jackson made.
Yeah.
And his movies were great.
Clitorum in the chat says, Brett, watch the Taylor Swift episode of CSI. I have watched it. It's amazing. Everyone should go watch it. It's a fever dream that she was barely a musician by that point, and she just randomly ends up on an episode of CSI, of the original CSI back in the day.
What year?
2008.
Oh, she was definitely on the map by then.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but she's not who she is now. They gave her
also
dark hair.
Well, I mean,
she
but
had that
no.
documentary come out in 2020, which was awful.
She was on the map, but she didn't really hit. Like
2008.
Red didn't come out until like 2012, and Red is like the one that really was, because she didn't get big until she started to cross over. She was a country artist, yes, but she wasn't like.
I mean, as her target audience, having been 12 when Red came out, every girl I knew liked Taylor Swift before Red. Like, she was a big deal.
Yeah, but the Andrew Schultzes of the world don't fall in love
Maybe
with
it's because
Taylor
I was
Swift
in
until
North
later.
Carolina and country music would be more popular there anyway.
Yeah.
But her documentary in 2020, Miss Americana, was awful, political bullshit.
Tripe.
Yes.
Yes.
And then she had a documentary before that too, but maybe it was a third party that released it, which I also watched.
But this is going to focus on just the
This is
tour.
just the tour for the people that couldn't afford the insane prices for her North American tour dates.
Yeah.
Like, you had to pay $500 minimum to not see the stage.
I love the idea of her as just the ultimate capitalist. She's like, just price him out.
She is.
Price him out. Do you want to see it? How badly
What
do you
we
want
were
to see it?
proposing is Taylor Swift actually in an acting role.
Yes.
Like, starring
Yeah.
in a real theatrical release movie, which
About
could
Sailor
still be...
Tift. About a woman named Sailor Tift.
Is she in SAG? Is she in SAG
Oh, yeah.
after being
Oh,
in
yeah.
Amsterdam?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Imagine.
maybe she won't, but it would be a great idea. And all of the studios are thinking, let's make a Play-Doh movie after Barbie. Like, let's make a movie about a Play-Doh and Hot Wheels and Polly Pocket, because that's what women like, right?
Well, I mean, the studios are learning all the wrong lessons, right? They're not understanding that women want to see stuff that relates to them. Like Polly Pocket doesn't exactly scream like it's going to have a story that's going to really resonate with you.
No.
You could have made the... Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. I'm going to have a word with you, YouTube. What they did to us yesterday.
It's party time.
At the end of the day, they still have to write a competent story. I didn't like Greta Gerwig's story for the Barbie movie, but if we rewound time and the movie hasn't come out yet, what would you imagine that a Barbie movie is actually going to be about, right? So they're still going to have to learn their lesson and write stories that appeal to women.
If they let Barbie and Ken end up together at the end, all would have been forgiven, to be honest. Also, Taylor Swift should have had a cameo in it, but too late.
I'm really surprised that they didn't, to
I
be
am
completely honest.
I am too.
Yeah.
I guess she just didn't have time. It's sort of like how she turned on the Super Bowl.
They also did what they did 80 for Brady this year, but they also did a theatrical release for like a BTS concert.
Yeah, that was a big deal too for women.
But I'm saying, right now this will be a bigger deal because there's less options out there. So people will go see this just because one, it's Taylor Swift.
This is going to beat out Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon,
which nobody's going to go see.
Which is coming out, I believe, 1 week after the Eras Tour film. It's just art nerd trash.
Yeah.
That's about how white people are evil.
They are evil. I've heard that.
That's literally all it is. So I am looking forward to Taylor Swift's documentary making more money than Martin Scorsese's film.
She's also going to have, like, you know what, another reason she's perfect for stuff like this is because her love of lore. So all her movies can just have constant Easter eggs. Like, ooh, look at the color of her scarf.
I hate Easter egg culture.
You do?
Like, it's very Reddit. It's very, like, people making Reddit threads about all the Easter eggs in this movie or that movie or whatever franchise, when you could just enjoy the film for what it is.
So glad that I'm not a Redditor.
Yes.
Like, even for a lot of A24 films, there are Easter egg forums talking about it.
Superhero, it's a big part of superhero movie culture too, because that's where they can. The idea is like they want to make the movie for normies.
If you want to sprinkle that in on top of a movie that's already good, that's fine. But the movie is trash.
It worked back in the day for Marvel because they would include whether it was the type of it would be a comic book accurate costume. There would be details in there that were nods to the fans, but the film was still accessible to people that didn't grow up reading the comics.
The whole Infinity War, the whole Easter eggs of stuff throughout that, with Thanos and stuff, the whole, like at the end of, I forget which one it was, and he was like, fine, I'll do it myself or whatever. That was huge.
Still my favorite meme of all time is this one. It says like, the USSR tries to destroy America, fails. Japan tries to destroy America, fails. America, fine. I'll do it myself.
We got one from Daniel Che Corica. He said, "Happy Thursday. I sent the pet pictures to the Pop Culture Crisis Instagram account under Teggy Man because I don't have Twix. Phil for press secretary."
I'm glad you used Twix, my friend. That one works there. You know what? Go ahead if you can send them to my Instagram, because I don't run the social media for Pop Culture Crisis. But if you send them to my Instagram, I can do my best to try and.
Well, I'll look and I'll
include
send it to you. It's
there you
fine.
go. There you go.
A lot of Swifties, because they're sleuths, found out that this documentary was happening before the announcement was made at the beginning of this month, and they thought it was going to be called A Long Time Coming, and it was going to come out on Disney Plus.
No, but
because
it's possible, and then they made it a theatrical release.
Her new releases, her re-recorded versions of all her songs, are technically owned by Disney at this point. Yeah. So that would be the reason why it would go there. Maybe after it's in theaters, it's going to go on Disney Plus.
Likely, it was going to go to Disney Plus originally.
But like, yeah, you're totally fighting the man by re-recording your songs so they can be owned by Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But not just that, but that's getting in the Killers of the Flower Moon was supposed to just get a limited release, but now because they have less options and because of the strike, it's getting a wide release instead. Because the studios they're re-releasing a lot of their TV shows on network television now. Yellowstone is going to be shown on regular television rather than cable soon, because they're like, look, we got nothing new for fall because we've been on strike for over 100 days. and they're running out of things to do.
They should try a hunger strike. They'll
Like-
all end up hotter.
The lady, okay, the mom, the guy who runs the women's soccer league in
The guy who... Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
He's a guy. And he
But he's a guy. He's like the
women's
president
soccer
of like or was it tennis or soccer? Who like kissed some?
Yes.
It was a soccer, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was.
It was soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
The
He
kid, like the
kissed-
kiss was. It wasn't just like a peck. He grabbed her head. It was inappropriate.
Wait,
inappropriate.
how long did it last?
Seconds. Not like. Mwah,
Okay.
mwah.
I didn't see the video, so when I heard about it, I was like, "Oh, it just sounds like Europeans."
He had her. If I saw correctly, he had her head. Like this was
So
like
there was no getting out of it.
there was
no escape.
No, she was not going.
But
anywhere.
apparently,
All right.
his mother is on hunger strike right now to protest his mistreatment.
His mystery.
How old is his mother?
I have no idea.
This could be life-threatening.
Yeah, like she was on day 2 or day 3 of hunger strike, which is more than who was that politician who tried to do it like out front of a political out front of some political office in the summer heat this year, and he made it like 9 hours.
We should start hunger striking cancellations. That would be awesome.
I wanted him to get heat stroke just for being
He did?
good.
Didn't he?
'Cause no.
No.
He was never in any danger. It was all just LARPing. It was never real. Like what he was protesting wasn't real. No one remembers what he was protesting. They remember that he was LARPing a protest.
Yeah.
Like that is the complete backwards result. Like no, I have no idea why he was out there at all, except for like he was out there. There were people making believe that he was actually doing something noble, but he was drinking water and he had like people cooling him off or whatever.
So yeah, like what I think they need to do, like if anybody could do this, I think we need the Taylor Swift cinematic universe, and it's like you make dramatized versions of her manager. There's an evil supervillain named Scooter. And you just have all sorts of characters from her life, and she just becomes a living, breathing comic book universe. And we just turn her into movies.
They'll like change the name of the villain to something like Cooper.
No, I like
Something
Scooter.
that rhymes.
I mean, you could approach her people and see if they like the idea, because
I'm just saying it works because of the lore, because of her love of lore. Like the writers would have to be experts, and she can hire experts because all of her fans are super fans.
But it doesn't need to be in the Taylor Swift universe. She can just play a character.
Needs to be the Taylor Swift universe. We need the Swiftie.
It would be more interesting to see Taylor Swift play someone unlike her.
The Swiftie. Well, no, I'm speaking more like if it's going to live on past her, and it becomes its own thing.
Who's gonna play her in the biopic?
That's a good. Who would play Taylor Swift?
Well, we don't know yet because the actor is probably 5 years old right now.
She'll have kids by then, and then her own daughter can.
don't she think she's gonna ever have kids?
No?
No.
It could be one.
Maybe she'll have a kid, but I don't think she's gonna have a husband and kids. I think it'll be like she'll go and she'll shop for one, or she'll adopt, or it'll be some kind of because like her like I'm a fan, but it's pretty clear that her relationships throughout her life so far have been so volatile. The likelihood of her actually having a non-volatile relationship in the near future are probably very, very low.
Maybe she goes the Angelina Jolie route and adopts from another country.
That's what I was thinking
that's the NIMBY Hollywood version of.
It would
Purse
be
puppy.
nice for her to have a family of her own.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
But yeah, it's like her own fans are her children.
Who was her first major boyfriend? I don't know her
Major?
lore. Like famous boyfriend.
I mean, there was the guy that she wrote Teardrops on My Guitar about from her hometown.
that doesn't
Then
count.
after that, she had John Mayer, Joe Jonas.
Maybe she'll end up with John Mayer. I like the idea that she ends
get
up
back
back with
together.
she ends up back with like the first guy. It becomes a Hallmark movie that she can act as herself in.
Who else was there?
And they'll
Taylor
de-
Lautner was
And then she'll
one.
de-age herself rather than have somebody else play her as a younger version of herself. She'll pay to have like Marvel's de-aging technology used to play the younger version of herself.
Is it okay? She ended this announcement tweet with 1, 2, 3 LGB. If you know, you know. Does she have her fans like scream T for trans at her concerts?
I have no idea.
She's like 1, 2, 3 LGB, and they're like T.
She's talking about spill the tea, I bet, not the other
Is
tea.
that-
Or T for Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, what is LGB for then?
I don't know.
Let's go, Brandon. That's what it stands for. She's secretly a super Trump fan. That's what it actually is.
This is also giving Soulless cash grab. They're selling Eras Tour themed popcorn tubs and collectible cups.
I love it.
At theaters.
She's gonna make a ton of money.
I also thought this poster was a bad idea.
Oh yeah, let's show everybody the poster.
Tell me what you think this looks like on first impression, okay? What does that look like
Hold,
to
please.
you?
There we go.
That looks like she's farting into the microphone. Why would they choose this photo of all photos and not one of her singing? Why? I'm just asking questions that need to be asked.
asking questions.
Why?
We need Jesse Ventura on this. We need to have him ask the hard questions.
It's happened multiple times now where like headlining articles to use a picture of her where she's in this exact position. Like it's becoming a pattern at this point.
I'm a fan.
And I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Am I wrong?
Oh, Phil says you're wrong. Phil says
I'm
you're wrong.
It does not look like she's farting into.
I mean, there have been worse examples before this, so I was just like programmed to recognize.
There have already been videos made where people add the sound effects.
Yeah, they edit it.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
So you know what, her movie's gonna. I bet you it ends up doing good. Like what tends to happen is whenever there's a strike like this, some new thing comes around that proves that something else can fill a marketplace. It was reality TV before. Maybe what we'll find is that this is a marketable thing that they can do later with certain acts.
I just can't imagine paying to watch a concert that I'm not at.
Nope. Well, and even the one they did with BTS was a live concert that was being broadcast live.
At least that has like that hook to it. But you're seeing it at the same time as everyone else.
I could be wrong about this, but I think Justin Bieber's first thing came out in theaters.
It did. I saw it in theaters.
Oh my gosh.
As a child.
Of course you did. You were definitely a child.
But that was, it wasn't a concert show. It was like, it had a storyline to it. It was a documentary.
I mean, this will likely have something like that. It's still going to have a through line. It's not just going to be songs.
The BTS one was just their concert.
I imagine this will be something where it's going to be like she has to make it to this show on time. She can't. Her flight is delayed, and there'll be something that they carry as a through line.
I just want to say the theater etiquette should be you're not singing along.
Nobody knows what to do in the theater. Like, who's the first person who decides to sing or not?
I think you're gonna be disappointed.
They're gonna sing along. I mean, she did say singing along is encouraged, but what would be the point then?
You're
listening to everyone else sing the song.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Let's review it.
So
let's do a review.
I'm not doing that.
That's hilarious.
I'm not doing
What
that.
could convince you? How many crisis parties for us to get Brett into that
I'm
theater?
not going to a theater overrun by insane Taylor Swift fans.
Not even to date one of them?
Okay, how about this? If there is a single women only Taylor Swift showing, then yes, I'll go to that one.
It'll be pretty close.
I'll go
if any of them are able to drag their boyfriends to that, they're basically single already. So
thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.